We will call the governing board meeting of the Lammersville Unified School District to order at 7:00 p.m. Please note this meeting is being live streamed and recorded. At this time, please take a moment to silence and or turn off your cell phones. For those of you that would like to address the board about a specific agenda item and or during public comment, please fill out a blue comment card so we know when to call upon you. And we are going to begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I will lead us in that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 3, roll call.
Lisa Boulay.
Here.
Colin Clements.
Here.
Benita Daniel.
Here.
Stephanie Olson.
Here.
David Pombo.
Here.
Devika Vitellani.
Here.
Item 4, approval and or corrections to the agenda.
There are none. Move to approve the agenda.
Second.
On motion by trustee Clements and seconded by trustee Boulay. Student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes with 5 ayes and no noes. Moving on to item 5, committee reports. I do not believe there are any committee reports at this time, but I would just like to note for the record that we are going to keep committees as is for the time being. And so we will start the school year with the same committees as listed herein on the agenda. Are there any questions or comments about that? Nope. Then moving on to item 6, governing board reports. We will start with trustee Daniel.
Thank you, President. On July 1st, I attended the City Council meeting where I witnessed the oath ceremony. It was awesome, and congratulations to all of us to becoming a city. July 4th, I attended the parade with my fellow trustees, and it has always been a great honor to be in the parade, part of the parade. Then I went to India, and I had an amazing trip there. Thank you so much to my fellow board members for being there and taking up the responsibility in my absence. I had a great time in India and attended the wedding, as I had mentioned earlier. So weddings in India are generally when we have families from different countries, cities, and states gather. And we had 1 week-long celebration. And I had the opportunity to meet a lot of my cousins, my aunts and great-aunts, great-granduncles, who I did not have an opportunity to meet for long. So it was just amazing to meet them, get their blessings, and be back here. During my trip, I also had a chance to watch the video of last board meeting, and I also had my call with President Olson and with Dr. Nicholas. I also had another, I was also getting all the information and keeping me up to date and up to speed. I landed yesterday afternoon after a 31-hour journey. I'm so grateful to my body for giving me the strength to be present here. Lastly, I want to wish all the very best to our students, our teachers, staff, custodians, and to our parents for a very successful and productive academic year. Thank you.
Thank you. Student trustee Vitellani.
Good evening. I hope that everyone had a very fantastic, positive, and thriving back-to-school season. So to start off the 2024 to 2025 school year's report, I would like to begin with our ASB and leadership updates. So far we've completed our 2-day boot camp where all the leadership students came together. We got to know each other, and we basically got ready for the new school year. We decorated all the hallways and posters to welcome the freshmen and also the returning students. And to kick off the first day of school, we had our senior sunrise, and we all soaked up the beauty of the sunrise, and we looked forward to all of the new exciting experiences ahead. It was a great experience. We took lots of pictures and had lots of fun, Even though it was early in the morning, everyone really appreciated it. Moving on to club updates, the annual fall play is coming up in September and auditions are now open. As well as for the Science Olympiad, the team is holding tryouts and I wish all the Mustangs trying out the very best of luck. For sporting updates, over the past few weeks, we've had several fall sports tryouts and practices that have taken place. This includes water polo, tennis, golf, volleyball, cross country, football, and esports. As we embark on this new school year, I hope that everyone has a very successful year ahead of them. That concludes my report for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Clements.
Thank you, Madam President. I wanted to take this opportunity to welcome the students back into our schools and wish them the very best this year. You are the reason why all of us, including teachers, staff, and the governing board, are here, and we want you to have the very best educational experience possible. I also wanted to welcome the teachers and staff back as well. You actually provide the educational experience that these students need, and the ever-improving academic achievement that we have seen is all down to you and your dedication to our students, so I also wanted to say thank you. I was unable to attend the welcome back breakfasts for the various school sites in the district office, nor was I able to attend the first day of school yesterday. I'm not 100% positive, but I believe this is the first time in my 10 years on the board that I have not been able to participate in those events. Unfortunately, my work situation is dramatically different than it was even 2 years ago when I ran for my third term on this board. At the time, my company operated primarily in Northern California with a small presence in Southern California. We now operate throughout California, and we have a presence in 28 states at last count. I love my job, but the demands on my time make it very difficult to get back to Mountain House during the day, and for that I apologize. End of my report, Madam President.
Thank you. Trustee Boulay.
Thank you. I also want to welcome everybody back to a new school year. I love hearing the activities that are already happening at the high school, and I've seen some reports of activities that are happening at all of the other K through 8 schools, and it looks like we're active, we're giving students great opportunities and helping them make fun memories that hopefully will last a lifetime. So wishing everybody a great school year. On July 25th, I went to the Mountain House High School walkthrough registration. I've been to this a number of times, and it was, again, a very successful event, very well organized, and we were able to get through quickly. I know if you needed to have a schedule change, that there was a little delay there, but I think that it was well coordinated, so thank you to all the high school staff that made that happen. And then yesterday, I did attend Senior Sunrise, and it was a huge crowd, lots of students. I didn't count, there was too many to count, but I think we had an awesome turnout. And yes, it was very early in the morning, but we sure saw that sunrise and it was gorgeous. And the volunteers, the parent and staff volunteers did a great job. So thank you to all those folks who really go above and beyond for our students. And that's the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Pombo.
Thank you, Madam President. I, like Trustee Daniel, missed the last board meeting, so some of these things happened before the last board meeting. I attended the Mountain House City Mayor and City Council swearing in on July 1st. On July 4th, I, along with most of the rest of the board, participated in the 4th of July parade. On July 9th, I attended a budget workshop on the state budget as it pertains to school funding. The reason I missed the last school board meeting is that I spent a wonderful time in Hawaii with my wife, kids, and grandkids, 18 of us in total. And although it was a bit like herding cats, it was thoroughly enjoyable. Thank you to the rest of the board for covering for me while I was gone. On August 20, on August 2nd, I attended the district office breakfast where several staff members were recognized for their years of service. And then in the afternoon, I attended a lunch ceremony at Evelyn Costa Elementary where more staff were recognized for their service to the district. I also would like to echo the comments of my fellow board members and welcome back the parents, students, teachers, and staff, and I wish them all a wonderful, wonderful school year. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Pombo. So like others have reported on July 1st, I also attended the swearing-in ceremony for, wait, I think I already reported that on because I was here on July 17th, so I'm going to scratch that. Sorry. I would like to just say that I attended the walkthrough on July 25th at the high school. It seems like every year things feel smoother, or that could be that my daughter chose a time that was strategically that would be when fewer people were there, but it was still wonderful to see the systems that have been put in place for students to register and the counselors that are there and available to help with that stress. I think that is just wonderful for anxiety for students to start school, like having an opportunity to clear that up before. And then on August 2nd, I attended a discussion with the football team. Coach Carr invited me to come and speak to the football team for Career Day. And it was a wonderful experience to see the efforts of what a coach does to build a culture and a team mentality that goes beyond just learning how to play football, but just being excellent citizens and people. And I would like to wish everybody a wonderful 2024-2025 school year. May it be magical, memorable, and very successful. And that concludes my report. Moving on to item 7, receiving of public comments. I do not have any blue comment cards. Is there any member of the public who wishes to make a comment? There's one right there. Okay. You may bring your card over to Ms. Balzerini and then.
There wasn't any back.
Don't forget to do the statement.
Oh, yeah. So while you're filling that out, I'm going to read our statement. The entire board appreciates hearing from members of the community and public at large. The board shall give members of the public an opportunity to address the board either before or during the board's consideration of each agenda item, Government Code Section 54954.3. At a time so designated on the agenda, members of the public also may bring before the board matters that are not listed on the agenda of a regular meeting. The board may refer such a matter to the superintendent or designee or take it under advisement, but shall not take action at that time. The board may place the matter on the agenda of a subsequent meeting for discussion or action. Individual speakers shall be allowed 3 minutes to address the board on each agenda or non-agenda item, and the board shall limit the total time for public input on each item to 20 minutes. And do we have any other members of the audience who wish to make a comment that need to get a blue comment card? No. Okay, so.
Hi, good evening. My name is Mamta, and I have a freshman student this year going to Mountain House High School. So this is about a subject and a pathway which my student chose. Like, we requested a biology honors or biology along with the biomedical pathway. So the counselor emailed us that concurrently these two subjects are not required. So they dropped out the biology and asked us to, follow the biomedical pathway. At the meeting, when we had the walkthrough, we asked for the biology again, and they said they cannot give it. So my only question is, like, how the decision is made to drop the biology if the student is taking a biomedical pathway? Because I strongly feel that biology is the base for the biomedical pathway, because that is a project-led pathway, right? So biology will build the base, and students will be, more stronger with their concepts to follow the pathway.
Okay, on behalf, does that conclude your comment? Okay, on behalf of the board, we thank you for your comment. And while I know it might seem harsh, the Brown Act prohibits us from commenting or interacting, but we have your information on the comment card, and the appropriate staff member will reach out to you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Moving on to item 8, consent items for consideration. Actions proposed for consent are consistent with the approved practices of the district and are deemed routine in nature. Trustees receive board agenda background information in advance of scheduled meetings and are prepared to vote with knowledge on the consent items. Item A, governing board meeting minutes. Item B, contracts under $50,000. Item C, ratification of certificated and classified personnel actions. Item D, updated 2024-2025 fundraisers. Item E, ratification of 2024-2025 inter- and intra-district transfer requests. And item F, ratification of preliminary budget revisions for June 2024. Does any member of the board wish to poll or further discuss any item listed therein?
Move to approve consent items.
Second.
On a motion by trustee Pombo and seconded by trustee Clements, student trustee preferential vote?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes with 5 ayes and no noes. Madam Clerk, will you please do the honors?
Thank you. I would like to welcome the following new employees to our district: Gavin Downing, music teacher; Marie Ann Emrich, self-contained classroom teacher; Leslie Ferraro, administrative secretary; Melanie Gatti, food service worker; Mayela Garay, accounting specialist; Maria Chavez German, special educational instructional aide; Tiffany Hagee, self-contained classroom teacher; Thomas Hughes, 7th, 8th grade teacher; Glenna Kiswani, self-contained classroom teacher; Lalitha Pravalika Koparthi, special education instructional aide; Thanaja Kumarathasan, food service worker; Raymond Lakoba, special education teacher; Michelle Lafleur, self-contained classroom teacher; Jessica Mancias, special education instruction aide; Sapna Makisha, noon duty supervisor; Bianca McBriarty, special educational instructional aide; Carrera Maderos, coordinator of special education; Christine Medriano, 7th and 8th mathematics teacher; Roxana Montoya, school secretary 1; Andrew Nolan, K-8 physical education teacher; Jasenia Ortega, food service worker; Sergio Padilla, Spanish teacher; Shrija Rash, food service worker; Paul Salmasi, special education teacher; Maya Smith, school psychologist; Carolina Valverde Cisneros, high school custodian and security 3; and David Wari, mathematics teacher. Welcome to the Lammersville family, and I'm sorry if I...
Moving on to item 9, district administrative reports. Item A, superintendent's report.
Yes, we just have a couple of items to share about how we prepared for the school year. But before we get going, we want to thank Director Barrios and her team. When you read a list that long, each one of those people fill out an application that has to be screened. There has to be background checks. There has to be interviews. Interviews have to be double checked, and a lot of work. So nice job to Sarah and her team. We're going to put up first, right before the school year started, the district has 3 goals. One of them is specifically related to a program called Impact Teams, which is a modernized version of professional learning communities. And we made the commitment 3 years ago to transition our professional learning communities from a broad scale to a specific data-driven instructional planning scale. So we have 330 plus teachers. All of them went through training at the high school and other schools. And this is all in preparation for a 3-year transition into what is a culture building model that is now culture building around data and instructional planning. So congratulations to all. It was a very successful day. And as you can see, they were all busy working hard. Second, we started a tradition not too long ago recognizing years of service to the district at year 5, year 10, and year 20. And we've gotten so big. We used to do this in the multipurpose room at the high school, and with over 600 employees, we would be in trouble with the fire department. In fact, the big gym is almost too small as well. So we do it via satellite. So here is a picture montage put together by Noel showing all the folks who are being recognized. So it's important to note that at the 10-year honorees at the high school represent the initial staff from when we opened the high school in 2014-15. I think there were like 10 or 12 of them, and they were really proud to be called out for that those years of service. And then finally, yesterday, we welcomed somewhere in the ballpark of 8,000 youngsters, ranging in age from 4 to 18. And so this is just a quick pictorial overview of what we were able to experience. So all total, I can't say there weren't a few youngsters that weren't crying yesterday, because there's some cute stories about that. But all in all, we've had a very successful launch to the school year, and we want to thank everyone from the parents who trust us with their kids to the teachers and the staff, site admin, It's nice to be able to go out as a team and kind of to be available to provide services, and nobody needed too much help. And the kids were in the classrooms and we're already teaching and learning, and that's a good place to be. So with that said, Madam President, that is my report.
Thank you. Item B, District Maintenance and Operations Report. Director Dixon.
Good evening. So school started yesterday. Things went pretty smoothly for us in maintenance. There are several HVAC issues that are still working through at a few sites. The temperatures outside are back near triple digits again this week, so grass is being watered 5 days a week at all sites except for Costa, which is getting 7. Operations went smoothly as well. Summer cleaning is done. The Learning Commons carpets will be scheduled to be cleaned over fall break. The water machine was replaced in the Wickland teacher area. Working on the final book deliveries in the warehouse as we get those final numbers in for classrooms. The food waste program, SB 1383, has been rolled out to all sites. This morning I was training TK through 5th grade at Hanson Elementary. Tomorrow I'll be at Costa Elementary in the morning training their TK through 5th as well. We just purchased 2 new vans last week for student transportation and picked those up. And currently we have no grounds maintenance or custodial openings. Civic permits opens to the public for registration next week. First day for public use of facilities is on the 19th of this month. And our new employee, Leslie Ferraro, again started this learning process down at the office. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 10, action items. Item A, consider approval of Governing Board Resolution number 24-25-02, declaring intention to reimburse expenditures from the proceeds of obligations to be issued by the district and directing certain actions. Neighborhood L. Staff report.
Yes, we brought a similar item at the last board meeting, a resolution regarding the reimbursement. And this one is specific to Neighborhood L. So a quick review. I, J, K, and L are the 4 villages north of the Byron Highway. There are going to be 3 schools there made up of approximately 900 students. The first village being developed is Neighborhood J, and there are already 503 houses in the process of, they're not being built now, they're putting in the infrastructure, but they're getting ready to pour asphalt and form streets. So that's an indicator that they're getting close to wanting to pull permits to do model houses, and it's months thereafter before they start going to the market. They're also doing a small amount of development in Neighborhood K and have plans for, I believe, 350 units in Neighborhood I. When we were doing the math and the negotiations with the developer, the math didn't work out for the 3 schools being the same size, and there was some confusion about that. But in subsequent negotiations regarding how these schools are going to be funded, it was divulged that there would be an additional market rate housing moved from what would have been market rate housing in Neighborhood J at the school site into Neighborhood L to make up for the lost market rate profit of the developers. That also made the math work out to have 3 schools the same size. Our plan is to build 3 schools with a similar footprint, which doesn't necessarily, in the old days it used to save you money, but in our day and age, it gets us to school plan and approval through the state system. So with that said, it is really important, I want to put this on the record, that the money that is going to be generated from market rate housing in J, K, I, and L are going to be absolutely, completely, and totally needed to pay for the cost of construction of the 3 schools, which will be in J, K, and I. And that's important because any effort made by a developer a decade from now to try to do any more market rate north of the Byron Highway, there will not be enough money or enough kids generated to build another school. So the developer and their representative consultants have been told by the district, but it's important for the board to know, and that this be on the record, that what will the money generated to fund the building of schools will generate enough for 3 schools for approximately 900 students. So this item reimburses the folks that do the paperwork behind the scene, but it's also important that we start making clear in the public record all the process that's going on.
Point of clarification.
Yeah.
How many villages are north of Byron Highway?
There will be multiple builders, but right now, Lennar is the current.
I'm sorry, I didn't say builder. I said villages.
Oh, there are 4. I'm sorry.
4 villages.
Yeah.
4 villages, 3 schools.
4 villages, 3 schools.
And if the developer wanted to give us extra money for a 4th school, we would build it. If they just wanted to write a check.
Correct. And that would be a check
but
to
they
the tune of $60 million.
Right. But they don't want to give us $60 million.
It would be interesting to watch their face if we even asked.
And I don't have 60 million. Pombo, do you got 60 million? Because
Not to go to school.
yeah. Well, there you go. So I do, obviously I'm being a little tongue in cheek here, but I don't want the public to think, I don't want any confusion amongst the public that just because the map looks like there are 4 spots to build schools, that there can or should be 4 schools. It takes money to build a school, and there isn't enough generation in the mechanisms that we have available to us. There is not enough cash generation to build 4 schools amongst those 4 villages. So we have to make the decision that we have to make. And I want to avoid a circumstance a decade from now where somebody claims that there should have been 4 schools. We'd be happy to build it if the developers wanted to put forth that money. And with that,
And if I could value add on that, and the reason is that's 4 multi-use rooms, the cost, 4 administration wings, 4 16-acre school sites. And so when you do the scale of economy and you start to do the math, you realize the amount of students generated will fill up 3 900 kids schools. And to build a 4th school for $60 million, and 10 years from now, who knows what it's going to be, that's just not going to be generated because we pay for schools, K-8 schools, through Mello-Roos, bonds, and state construction funds.
true. I wasn't implying that if the builder wanted to give us enough money to build a school for every 10 students, that it would make sense to do that. There is economies of scale in terms of the number of principals, the number of administrative staff, but unfortunately, the public just looks at the map, which was done 20 years ago, and things have changed innumerable times, and they go, oh, 4 schools, and that is not the case. And with that, I will move to approve Governing Board Resolution 24-25-02, declaring intention to reimburse expenditures from the proceeds of obligations to be issued by the district and directing certain actions neighborhood L.
Second.
I have a question.
Yes.
This may be more for the public and also for me to have more clarity on. And it's just a follow-up to what Trustee Clemens was talking about. So as you mentioned, we'll have J, K, and I schools, and we will not have a school for L, right? So again, at the fast rate we are moving. So probably another 5 years down the line, we may have all the schools. Is that right?
Ooh, that's a great question. So currently, at the current plan, a new school in J in 2026, August it would open in 26. A new school in K in August of 2029, and it's a variable date with the 3rd school. It would depend on the market. It would depend on how many houses are selling. But it typically takes about 3 years to plan, design, and get approvals and build a school. So we have already started designing the one in J. and that's nearing completion, and we'll be bringing renderings to the board in the short term. So that's the plan now. If something happens in the market, who knows?
Thank you. I was just getting to another question, but thank you for answering that. So again, this is a very hypothetical situation, but then this question is mainly because we have, last few years, we have had kids who were not being able to placed in their own school district schools, even though they were schools, so they were moved to different schools. So with the scenario that we do not have a school for L, have we thought about which schools would the kids be moved or placed? And a follow-up to that is, so these JK, L, and I are together. What I'm thinking about is, will they be placed within those 3 schools, the kids from L, or would they have to also be placed, moved on to like Wickland, Cuesta, Costa, and so on? So
It's a great question. Unfortunately, kids don't come in clumps of 24 and 32. Executive Director Busatil and her team do an exceptional job trying to balance out all the numbers. When a family moves in and they hope to get things and they get a disappointment, one of the hard things to explain is we can't hire a staff for 6 kids. So we have to put a placement when there's an overflow situation. We do the best we can, but our promise has been, for the most part, that if you're displaced from your village, the next year you get back in, and that's not 100% exclusive, but we do a very good job of that. The school in J, while it's being built, the 2 closest schools would be Altamont and Cuesta if there's room, but Wickland and Bethany would be ancillary to that. Lammersville, because of the proximity, ease of path would be another possibility, so I can't really answer the specifics of that. It's unfortunate, but overflow happens. It's just not a uniform situation, but we do the best we can, and we have a very strong team that deals with it, and we appreciate parents' patience when they don't get what they want.
thank you so much.
But one of the schools north of Byron would be the home school for the kids from L. Is that correct?
Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood that. Yes. So the plan would have to be that they would go to J or K. I misunderstood your question, if that's what it was. Right. So the 3 schools above, generally speaking, they would go to their home school, and that 610 would most likely fit in J or K to generate the funds to build the entirety of the school.
Okay, great. Thank you, David. So this was, and I totally agree to the part where you said that our staff makes sure and takes in a lot of effort to place the students nearest and to the comfort of the parents. So I strongly believe in that. This question was more of a future thinking question, because very soon we may get there. And I know our staff will do the best, but just wanted to understand where they may. And I know it's too early a question, but just wanted to talk about it. Thank you.
As a point of clarification, it's a small matter, but the characterization that there's not a school for L, there is a school for the students in L. It's just not in L. It's and that's
Right.
a small English thing, but I just wanted to clarify. Those 3 schools are the schools for all 4 villages north of Byron Highway.
Thank you. Any further questions or comments? Then we have a motion by Trustee Clements that was seconded by Trustee Pombo. Student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
Roll call.
Lisa Boulay.
Aye.
Colin Clements.
Aye.
Vanita Daniel. Aye. Stephanie Olson.
Aye.
David Pombo.
Aye.
The motion passes with 5 ayes and no noes. Item B, Consider approval of Governing Board Resolution number 24-25-03, determining that property is annexed to Lammersville Joint Unified School District Community Facilities District number 2019-1, Mountain House School Facilities, directing recordation of a notice of the annexation and a map of the annexation, and approving a related deposit and reimbursement agreement. Staff report?
Yes. So this is a really, it seems bureaucratic, but this is a really important board vote. South of Grant Line Road in College Park, we had a difficult journey to get the agreements needed in Neighborhood A, which is the western portion of College Park. It's been even more challenging to get to agreements in the eastern portion, which we will call, for simplicity's sake, Neighborhood B. However, this is the beginning of a series of agreements that are coming forward, this annexation into the CFD 2019-1 that will allow bonds, taxes generated from home purchases to become ultimately bond funds for us, which will help the district recruit money it should have never had to front to pay for the construction of the $60 million cost of school. But that is a report I will be presenting to the board in great detail in the next or soon thereafter board meeting. What's important about this one is the builder Pulte has come to an agreement which will be the model for all future builders in the undeveloped portions of College Park, which is generating money to pay the district back funds it fronted to a construction project, but also gaining some extra money for us to apply to other projects, in particular the growth project that began at the high school. So we're excited about how this negotiation settled, and we strongly recommend approval.
Any discussion or motion by the board?
Move to approve Governing Board Resolution 242503, determining that property is annexed to Lammersville Joint Unified School District Community Facilities District number 2019-1, Mountain House School Facilities, directing recordation of a notice of the annexation and a map of the annexation, and approving the related deposits and reimbursement agreement.
Second.
On a motion by trustee Pombo and seconded by trustee Boulay, student trustee preferential vote?
Aye.
All in favor, of roll call.
Lisa Boulay,
Aye.
Colin Clements,
Aye.
Benita Daniel,
Aye.
Stephanie Olson,
Aye.
David Pombo.
Aye.
The motion passes with 5 ayes and no noes. Moving on to item C. Consider approval of new certificated management job description and salary, deputy superintendent, effective August 1st, 2024. Staff report?
Yes, in a district such as ours that is constantly growing, it's an adventure. And in order to enjoy the adventure, you have to bring on talented people to do talented things to make sure that we don't drive people crazy and make things not work. So over time, we do analyses of our job descriptions, and there was one that was woefully outgrown, literally and figuratively. And in this district, as we grow, we need broad shoulders to address the burdens of the size of the student population, the staff that comes with it, and nonsensical direction from the state here and there. And so we did an analysis, and the board enthusiastically directed me to change the job description for a former position, as of this vote, of associate superintendent, to rightfully name, in the most prestigious of these type of positions, deputy superintendent, which will be appointed immediately effective August 1st, to Thorsten Wallen Harrison.
Wait, I didn't know that he was the one that was going to get that role.
So we'd like to have, after the vote, we'd like to have Mr. Harrison come up to the front. We have something to present to him, and then I think there's some really important people here that might want to take a picture. Oh, yeah.
Well, it's not official until we vote
Not
on
official
it.
till the
so
vote.
It's a little premature.
All right. So this is a reflection of what I just said.
How big was that chair?
Pretty big.
That looks good.
Yeah, let's, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve the new certificated management job description and salary, Deputy Superintendent, effective August 1st, 2024. Congratulations.
Second.
On a motion by trustee Boulay and seconded by trustee Pombo, student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes with 5 ayes and no noes. Congratulations, Deputy Superintendent. Please join us up front.
We did. Wow. Where do you want me?
And then you folks can come up and we'll take a picture with you guys as well. Why don't you guys folks come on up? Yeah, we'll take a picture.
Everyone look over here. Smile. You guys look so much alike. Very cute. Okay.
All right.
My boss.
Maybe a couple words, sir, Mr. Deputy.
When you broke it. I'm just thankful you didn't find the video of me when I was sick and I was up here melting and sweating with a fever. Remember that?
That's next.
Yeah. Board President Olson, trustees, Dr. Nicholas, thank you. This is an honor. I've really enjoyed the last 7 years working here. It's an honor working here with such talented people and with a good friend that I've known for a long time. Thank you. Anyway, it's an honor. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks for all you do, Thor.
If I could just say, this is so deserved, Deputy Superintendent. I've observed you, and I know that all of us see the same thing, that we are fortunate in Lammersville to have you here, because if you wanted to be a superintendent anywhere, they would hire you and take you. What you do for our district is amazing. I've watched you meticulously watch out for the safety of our students, both physically and emotionally and mentally. And, great job, great hire, Dr. Nicholas. Thank you. And thank you, Deputy Superintendent Harrison, for being the kind of person that is a servant leader and is doing this not as a job for money or just to have a job, but because you truly care about each and every student. You do it with purpose, and we are very grateful to have you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to item D, consider approval of contracts for 2 speech and language pathologists for the 2024-2025 school year. Ascend Rehab Services Incorporated, $158,400, and Speech Pathology Assessment and Intervention Services PC, $136,740. Staff report.
Yes, these are IEP driven and required to serve 2 students.
Move to approve the contracts for 2 speech and language pathologists for the 2024-2025 school year. Ascend Rehab Services Incorporated, $158,400. Speech Pathology Assessment and Intervention Services PC, $136,740.
If I could correct the record, I believe that's for multiple students, but yeah.
Second.
On a motion by Trustee Boulay and seconded by Trustee Daniel, student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
And thank you for correcting the record, because we knew it was for more, but the public may not.
The motion passes with 5 ayes and no noes. Item E, consider approval of agreement between Lammersville Unified School District and the California School Employees Association and its Lammerville Chapter 873, and for July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2026. Staff report.
Yes, this is just the culminating act of a finished negotiation with final signatures.
Move to approve agreement between the Lammersville Unified School District and California School Employees Association and its Lammersville Chapter number 873, and for July 1, 2023 through June 30, 2026.
Second.
On motion by Trustee Clements and seconded by Trustee Boulay, student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes with 5 ayes and no noes. Item F, consider approval of revisions in the 2024 Local Control Accountability Plan, LCAP, annual update for 2023-2024 and 2024 through 2027 Local Control Accountability Plan. Staff report.
Yes, the LCAP, in its ever-evolving direction away from local control, continues to be given more guidance. In this case, there were some, what I would say, minor corrections that were brought forward, and a discussion about the manner in which we would make them. This would include moving a sentence from the top of the paragraph to the bottom, checking a box, changing a decimal point. The intentions are good, that the LCAP be as tight as possible. We're going to continue to work with the county on how they provide feedback and how we respond to that feedback. These are minor revisions, has no significant impact on the content or the budget.
Move to approve revisions in the 2024 Local Control Accountability Plan, LCAP, annual update for 2023 through 2024 and 2024 through 2027 Local Control Accountability Plan, LCAP.
Second.
On a motion by Trustee Clements and seconded by Trustee Boulay, student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes with 5 ayes and no noes. Item G, Consider approval of Governing Board Resolution number 24-25-04 in support of Proposition 2, kindergarten through grade 12 schools and local community college public education facilities modernization, repair, and safety bond act of 2024. Staff report.
This couldn't be a more important event in terms of funding schools. Proposition 2 is a $9 billion state construction bond. There hasn't been one passed. I believe it was 2016 that Prop 55 passed. The one in 2020 didn't pass because they named it Proposition 13, which created confusion related to the original Proposition 13. Our district has multiple projects, including the Costa construction project sitting in purgatory, waiting for bonds to be sold so that we could get funding for a project. And J, once its plans are approved, will go on the list as well. So this resolution is a formal act by the board to say, hey, we support this and we want this to happen.
Move to approve Governing Board Resolution 24-25-04 in support of Proposition 2, kindergarten through grade 12 schools and local community college public education facilities modernization, repair, and safety bond act of 2024.
Second.
On a motion by Trustee Boulay and seconded by Trustee Clements, student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes with 5 ayes and
It's
no
a
noes.
resolution.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Does
roll-
this one require?
It does. It is a
Yeah.
resolution. Sorry. Thank you.
Lisa Boulay,
Aye.
Colin Clements,
Aye.
Vanita Daniel,
Aye.
Stephanie Olson,
Aye.
David Pombo.
Aye.
The motion passes with 5 ayes and no noes. Item 11, information and discussion items. Item A, 2022-2023, teaching assignment monitoring outcomes by full-time equivalent. Staff report.
Yes, this one starts with a common sense effort and ends with a head-scratching term. So the intentions of the state to create, tell the Teacher Commission on Credentialing to establish a series of credentials that are have-tos in terms of placing teachers in the classroom is a great thing. Highly qualified teachers with the appropriate credential in the area they're teaching makes a lot of sense. What hasn't caught up is the long-standing teacher shortage and the ability to find people with those credentials to go put into classrooms. And so the entity that approved flexibility in PIPs and STIPs and Probe Zero interns and all these people we hire who are on their journey to a credential allows us to fill the positions that are open and start the school year with the most full classes in lieu of substitute teachers. So all that makes sense. It makes sense that the state wants to track the data for how many folks are fully credentialed and in the classroom and how many folks are PIPs and STIPs and Probe Zero interns. What doesn't make sense is, and it makes sense to even have to tell the public that this is the percentage of folks. And we have been publishing in our infographic that number for years. What doesn't make sense is they decided to use the term ineffective teacher to define the people on a PIP and a STIP and a Probe Zero intern, which is completely oxymoronic because some of the best teachers are the people that are new to their profession. I believe we have one sitting right here in a red blazer. So we are letting you know that we had to put this out there. It's a state mandate. The mandate came in like 3 weeks ago. So we're meeting the mandate. We're objecting to the term ineffective, which we will not be able to change. So we're meeting the standard of the direction from the state, but we would like to say that we do a very effective job with our PIP, STIPs, and Probe Zero interns and our new teacher academies and the supportive staffs of teachers, staff, and site administrators. And with that said, that's our info and discussion item. We can check the box that the mandate of the state has been met.
I would just like to say that the words state mandate and moron quite often belong in the same sentence.
I was going to say it a slightly different way. I was going to say thank you to the state for their help. Move to approve.
I have a.
Sorry, go ahead.
I don't think that's an
Oh,
approval.
you're right.
But that's okay. I just want, so I understand the explanation. You mentioned that we have to put the word ineffective somewhere, right? So where will it be?
It's in the report in a column that they've defined as ineffective. So it's in their template. So I'm only bringing it up because it caught somebody's eye.
So why would they not use the term non-fully credentialed or something that actually fits and makes sense?
You're asking Dr. Nicholas to explain what the state does?
The irony doesn't escape me that the people who allowed us to hire pips and stips and probe zeros are the very people that are making us give this report and calling it ineffective. So clearly one hand is not speaking to the other in their department.
So, sorry, I'm still trying to understand. The report as in a report that we send to them, or what report will that
It's
word
part
be?
of our reporting mechanism associated with, let me make sure I got this right. It's an adjunct to the LCAP related to highly qualified teachers and one of the state priorities. It's just that in the past, we didn't have to put out the data, though we chose to do so in our infographic. I was simply pointing out that I don't think that the word ineffective helps anybody in that you have no idea who's effective or who's not.
I totally agree with you, and I just wanted to ask this question to understand where it would be out there for the public to see, because it does feel a little harsh to the people who are interns. My son is an intern himself, and I know that today he called me saying that he had been accepted for the job next year. So I understand interns are very valuable, and they perform greatly. So I just felt that word was a little harsh, and I was just wondering where it was going to go. So thank you.
There's no further discussion. Item 12, calendar. Item A, Wednesday, August 21st, 2024 is the next regular governing board meeting at 7 p.m. in the district office boardroom. Item B, Thursday, August 22nd, 2024, the District English Language Advisory Committee meeting will be held at 6:30 p.m. in the district office boardroom. In a moment, we will be adjourning to closed session, where we will be discussing the following items. Item A, public employee discipline dismissal release complaint, Government Code Section 54957. Item B, conference with real property negotiators, Government Code Section 54956.8. And item C, public employee appointment, employment, evaluation superintendent, Government Code Section 54357.6.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
On a motion by Trustee Pombo and seconded by Trustee Boulay, student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion to adjourn passes with 5 ayes, no noes, and we are adjourned at 8:02 p.m.
Thank you.